Aloha everybody, it is I, the Great Clements, and welcome to part 11 of my Let's Play of Sonic Colors, and now you're looking at the DS version of Planet Wisp. Of course, being on the Wii, the first time we get introduced to Act 1, we get to see the crazy beauty of the fields, we get to hear the fantastic piano music and all that stuff, and so you get the impression that Planet Wisp is quite a beautiful place, and it gives you a nice tingly feeling inside, you know? It's awesome. It's all great and dandy. And then you go play the DS version of Planet Wisp, and, well, it's 2D, and you start off already in the construction area. You don't really start running through the fields or anything. And this is the level where they start introducing the Drill Wisp. And it acts pretty much exactly like it does in the Wii version. You just move around. It will constantly be moving. Just like the Wii version, you can hold Y down, and you'll actually go a little bit faster than you normally would. So if you ever find yourself running out of Wisp energy and you're like, oh god, I gotta get out of the dirt before, Sonic gets crushed in here, hold the Y button and you'll go a little bit faster. I think you might drain a little bit more energy if you hold the Y button when you're using the Drill Wisp, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure at all. But, whatever. But, this is like the only zone... Well, no, there is a aquarium park coming up, but... in the DS version, they introduce you to the Drill Wisp here, and so they really want you to take advantage of it. There's lots of mandatory segments where you're going to be bursting through the ground, trying to dodge all these ball spikes, and all of these crazy plants that are in the DS version that aren't in the Wii version, where, like, you'll be going by the plants, right? And then they will launch outwards wherever you are, and it will try and, like, grab you. And if you're holding the Y button down, you'll be outrunning it, and if you're not too close to it. Like, you have to be a certain distance from it. If you're too close and you're still holding the Y button, the plant thing will still grab Sonic no matter what. But, you know, it's interesting that there's crazy plant life that is trying to kill Sonic in the DS version of Planet Wisp. So, apparently, this planet isn't perfectly happy to see Sonic. It's not completely hospitable. It's a little bit dangerous, a little bit radical for our blue hedgehog. There are the plants. I'm running by them super quick, but they try to grab you as soon as you get close to them, and if you're holding the Y button, you'll be able to outrun them, but if you don't, it'll grab you. And it doesn't actually kill you. It doesn't, like, crush you or anything. It just keeps you in place for a little bit. When you're a Wisp, you can't actually die. I don't think I've mentioned that yet at all during this playthrough. But whenever I'm activating a Wisp, whether I'm the Laser Wisp, the Drill Wisp, whatever, you take damage and you'll lose rings. Like if I run into a burrow bot in the ground, let's say, and you see my rings scatter and all that stuff. Yeah, I do lose the rings, but I can't be killed. If I have 0 rings and then a burrow bot runs into me in the ground, nothing happens. I stay alive. And that applies to all the Wisps. If I'm the Spike Wisp, and I run into somebody with no rings, I'll be fine. Like something that the Spike Wisp can't normally destroy, anyway. Generally, the Spike Wisp it's spiky, so it tends to kill egg ponds and whatnot, but the only exception, of course, would be Cube, because with Cube, it's more like a P-switch. You're just sort of affecting, like, the platforms and stuff. You're not really affecting anything else. And, of course, I suppose, bottomless pits. It doesn't matter if you have Spike Wisp or not. If you have a bottomless pit underneath you, of course you're going to fall into it, and you're going to die, and that's no good. So don't do that. But yeah, Planet Wisp is weird, you know, it's very drill-centric, and I don't spin in circles in one place all the time in the DS version, because again, S ranks are a lot more about speed, they're a lot more about beating a stage in a certain amount of time. So I just actually speed through these sections really quickly and try to dodge all the spikes as best as I can. And you don't find myself spinning in circles to collect color bonuses, because you don't get color bonuses in the DS version. So I prefer using Drill Wisp like this. I like that you're actually navigating these sort of pathways, you're following the rings, you're trying to go into the pipes and stuff. And I'm just trying to make sure I don't run into any hazards, whether it's the plants or the spikes, or that thing chasing us right now, Jesus! If you hold Y down, you'll be able to outrun it a lot better, but there's a grinder that chases you, and If you get stuck between a wall and the grinder, you will get crushed and you will die. So that's one exception where, even though you're a Wisp, you can potentially die. So be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful. Be careful, because Charmy B's here. Oh, hi, Charmy. I didn't think I'd see you here in Planet Wisp. Although, now that I think about it, you were the mascot for Planet Wisp in Sonic Generations, so... Although that game came afterwards. I'm breaking continuity here. Either way. Yes, Charmy B is here, and now we have to do some missions, because again, I'm tackling all the bonus missions here. And this one we have to collect 200 rings. There's a lot of giant rings that are worth 10 rings, so if you run into those clusters, you'll be hunky-dory. And, as always, if you want the S rank, you want to go fast, hold the Y button to go faster. Also, as the time of this video, I'm uploading it on Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas. I hope you're going to get some awesome presents this year. Unless you don't have any friends or family who care about you and then no one gave you any presents. In that case, well, this just got a whole bit depressing, didn't it? This got a little bit awkward and dark, so, better luck next year, I guess. But, I'm hoping to get some new games that I've been looking forward to. I'm hoping to get some new clothes. I don't know. But anyway, now we see Espio the Chameleon. So first we saw Charmy, now we see Espio. What are the chances we're going to be running into Vector later? All the voice actors of Sonic changed with Sonic Colors. I've said this before, you know, Roger Craig Smith is Sonic, Kate Higgins is Tails. Dr. Eggman retained his voice actor, though. Mike Pollock auditioned for a second time to be Dr. Eggman again, and I guess Sega was just like, oh, we love Mike Pollock too much, we're not ditching this. Mike Pollock can be Eggman again. Oh, by the way, this is one of the quickest bonus missions ever. I have to free 8 capsules worth of aliens, and I'm done. But that is like really deceptively hard to S rank. Like, I got that perfectly because I hit every single capsule along the way. If you miss one and you go down past that area just a little bit, I guarantee you you're going to get an A rank. That actually took me a lot of tries to get the S rank. You wouldn't think it. That mission went by so quickly and you wouldn't think it, but no, that took me a lot of tries to get the S rank. But anyway, getting back to the voice actors, Mike Pollock is Dr. Eggman still. And with the DS version, all of the bonus characters show up, and they do have voice clips. They're just like one-liners. Like, they're not voicing out the entire dialogue that you're seeing right now. But every now and then you'll hear just a one-liner, like, ah, ah. And they did actually use the new voice cast that we will be seeing in Sonic Generations and stuff. And, I don't want to name all the voice actors for every single character right now, because they're going to be back for Sonic Generations, and I figure that'll be a better time to announce who's voicing who now. But I did want to bring mention that Espio the Chameleon is now voiced by Troy Baker, and my personal message to Troy Baker, you don't have to be in every single video game ever, Troy! Let the other voice actors have a turn, man! You don't have to be like the video game voice actor slut. You can tone it down a notch, man. You don't have to be in every single video game, Troy. You and Nolan North, man. You got some screw loose in your head. God. This mission's kind of unique. You'll notice in the right there's an arrow pointing to a wisp with a number. I actually have to collect all the wisps. 5 wisps in order, and you just have to follow the arrow and then pick up the wisp along the way. And if you accidentally pick up the wrong wisp along the way, then you're going to reset the counter and you'll have to redo it all over again. But basically, there are 5 wisps. They're each holding signs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You follow the red arrow, and you have to make sure you get them in numerical order. And you know, kind of an interesting challenge, kind of an interesting mission. I dug it. I think it's randomized every time you play it, too. I got the S rank my first try. It's not really that hard, but I believe it's randomized every time you play it, so yeah. But, yeah, Team Chaotix, ladies and gentlemen. They're detectives you want on your side. They're directives tracking down the crime. Come along for the ride. The truth can run but not hide. I can't believe I still know that song.
Every visitor to the park gets a free blue hedgehog. If you catch one, please feel free to take it home with you, or destroy it. Our choice.
And there's the generator. It seems like these guys are getting harder and harder to find. I know for a fact these guys are getting harder and harder to beat.
Please remember, all planets in Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park are, as far as you know, wholly owned properties of Eggman Enterprises and its subsidiaries. All unauthorized photography, video reproduction, or shutting down of generators is strictly prohibited. Thank you!
Eggman, I am going to save this planet, and I am going to free these aliens! No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me! We can save a lot of time and broken robots if you just quit now! You try to be reasonable?
So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting to get to the repeat bosses. Both the Wii and DS version have very similar bosses in the upcoming zones. So this one's kind of very similar to Globotron. The difference is, this time, there's water underneath the platform, and when you boost into the arm, you'll get a Drill Wisp. And the Drill Wisp is used to boost into one of these electric eyes. Now, they turn the electricity on and off. Like, it'll be off, and then it'll be on, then it'll be on, off, then it'll be on. And you want to boost into the eye when the electricity's off. It'll do a lot of damage. And if you can do a one run and get both eyes in that one run, the guy will go down really quickly, and then you just jump into his head. And once again, I've beaten a boss in under 30 seconds in the DS version, because, goddamn, they just do not give a shit. And coming back to 30-second bosses who are repeats, very much like the Tropical Resort boss in the Wii version, he is basically a giant Ferris wheel. And the difference is, instead of having a laser wisp, we have a spike wisp, which you can use to cling to these spinning platforms here. These round spinning platforms. And you can homing attack him once, and then homing attack him again as a spike wisp, and then you'll kill it, and that'll be that. I know, we're in the 4th zone. You couldn't possibly get to this zone unless you cleared Tropical Resort, Starlight Carnival, and Sweet Mountain. But they're still piss easy, and they are just repeats, basically, of the previous boss fights. I mean, they're a little bit different, but let's be honest. They're the same bosses that were in Tropical Resort. I mean, come on, come on. So, yeah. And you're also going to be seeing a theme with Sonic in the cutscenes every time he comes to a generator now, where generally he's going to be talking to these robots by himself, and it's a funny joke!
Wow, sometimes I even impress myself. For a second there, I wasn't sure I was going to pull it off. Oh, who am I kidding? We both knew how this would end.
Are you talking to the broken robot who can't hear you?
Maybe. That's between me and the robot. See, the important thing here is the alien planet is free.
Absolutely.
So, we can just forget about the whole talking to dead robots thing, right?
Nope.
I knew you'd say that.
Oh, come on. I've seen you save the day a lot of times, but I've never seen you talk to a pile of metal.
Touché.
And that's Planet Wisp, ladies and gentlemen. A fantastic level, but now we're coming to, quite frankly, my least favorite level. And because it's Christmas Eve, Christmas is tomorrow, and New Year's is going to be around the corner, and I'm actually going to be taking a break until January from Sonic Colors. So I'm going to be back 2 weeks or so. But, yeah. When I do come back, we're going to be checking out the water zone, my least favorite zone in the game, Aquarium Park. Until then.
Next up, the Aquarium Park. This underwater attraction is the perfect place to commune with sea life and hopefully get chummy with a shark. Next up,